Hello out there. We're on the air. Oh, I see the Grinder's doing a show right now. Should we pop in there? He's playing the game. Look, he's lost in space again. All right, good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. And welcome back to another edition, another episode of the Daily Bitcoin Journey. This show is actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and for future Bitcoiners. Cheers to the Bitcoiners and to the future Bitcoiners. I like to think that everybody will be a Bitcoiner one day, but I don't know if that's the truth or not. I think everybody will just. Well, let's watch the video before we talk about any of that. But anyways, we're live on Zap.stream. If you feel like checking out, if you're on YouTube right now, if you want to check out Zap.stream, very simple. You just go to Zap.stream. It really doesn't get much easier than that. And because there's not a whole lot of streamers on there yet, you should be able to find mine. No problem, right at the top of the screen. Let's just get this out there to the world, let the world know that we're live, and then we'll keep going. How are we doing, everybody? How are we? How are we feeling? I saw one of our favorite Bitcoiners today. Let me find that quickly, because I'm kind of feeling the same right now. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. And if you've been in Bitcoin for a little while now, it's, you always feel like something's coming. You always feel like that big thing is going to happen. But it never comes usually until you least expect it. And I feel like we're heading into that right now. I feel like we're heading into we're in September now. We're September 3rd, 2024. Summer's over. Everybody's getting back to work. Everybody's getting focused on what they need to be doing, what they've been putting off for the last 3 or 4 months, especially here in the prairies, just because of the weather. Honestly, it's pretty cliche, but it's the truth. Like here in the prairies, we get about 3 or 4 months of summer, probably about 10 days of like good weather where there's no bugs, where there's no smoke, where there's no wind. About 10 days a year. It's just fucking crazy, but it's the truth. So people want to enjoy that, and I don't blame them, but they're not thinking about too much. They're just trying to enjoy themselves. So we're getting past that point now. We're getting into the fall, and that has historically lined up with when things really start moving there. So we're not going to talk. I guess we'll do the metrics today. I haven't done the price lately though, because it just seems like I'm getting pretty tired of the sideways movement. I think we're long overdue for one, and it's kind of bothering me as this goes on further, because I know that there's some manipulation happening right now. I know it. There's just no way that it wouldn't be. The amount of demand versus the amount of supply out there, I don't know how they're keeping it down, but they are. But kind of what I see happening here in the next little while is that because Bitcoin is an asset that we've never had before, it's truly scarce, fixed. So these big institutions who have been buying it, first of all, there's a lot more to come. I think we've just kind of scratched the surface with who's going to be involved with this stuff. But they have unlimited capital, literally unlimited capital. So first of all, they don't care what the price is. Second of all, the higher the price goes, the more of a management fee BlackRock will be able to collect off of these ETFs. And so what I think is going to happen here in the next little while is they're actually going to just absolutely pump the price of Bitcoin. And we need to be prepared for that. Truly, not just mentally, but we need to have some sort of strategy on what we want to do. But the reason I think they're going to do that is because of the fixed supply, because there's only so much Bitcoin, because there's been a lot of people holding for a long time now, waiting for kind of this moment to come. I think they're going to pump the price up to a degree where people will have a very hard time holding. And so that's the part that we need to be ready for, because if you're if you're in this, if your conviction is anywhere near mine, then it doesn't really matter what the price is going to be. But it will be interesting to see what they get it to, what they're going to tempt people with. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be, they're just going to tempt people. They're going to say this is how much it's worth in fiat terms. They're going to start buying Bitcoin through the exchanges again, pump the price up. And hopefully they're going to hope that some of us sell our Bitcoin to them. Because that's the main problem that they're going to have going forward here, is once the grayscale amount runs out, once the amount on the exchanges run out, hardly any new Bitcoin are being created now. If you look at the demand, how many Bitcoin gets bought, especially by the ETFs, but on a day-to-day versus the amount of Bitcoin mined, there's a huge variance there. And it's going to catch up eventually. I don't know when, I don't care when, but there's going to come a time where you're going to be very tempted to sell your Bitcoin. So that's why we haven't been talking about the price too much, because it's been pretty boring. And I don't feel like wasting your time with telling you I'm not going to say that number anymore, 59K every day. All right, how's the Zap stream looking here? I see Letha's over there. I see there's a few people in there. It's still not really working great for me. And I don't know if it's my browser. I don't know what to do, to be completely honest with you. But it still seems like it's working. There's just no title. There's no, all the goals are kind of have a mind of their own, but whatever. If you're over on Zapdos stream, say hi. And if you're on YouTube, consider moving over to Zapdos stream. Timber Crasher, good morning. Ryan, good morning. Muslim Bitcoiner says, what's the bigger L for Brazil? 7-1 thrashing at the World Cup or $8,900 fine for using a VPN? Yeah, Brazil's in one. But at the same time, it truly feels like every week there's a new country that's in one. Last week it was France. Month before that it was Germany, the US, every second day, Canada every day. We're running out of places to run, essentially. So when that happens, you got to kind of fix things where your feet are. Or try anyways. Johnny Midas, good morning. Jason, another Johnny. Johnny Hodler. I think that should say Hodler, Johnny, not Holder. Unless that's your last name, then I'm not going to try to change your last name. But that would be a cool name. I wonder if any Bitcoiners have named their kid Hodl yet. Cold Deck with an E. Good morning. Daniel, good to see you, man. All right. Well, I have to apologize in advance here because it is harvest season here, which is not good for my allergies. Plus, Arnie's, I don't know why Arnie's shedding so much, but he is, and it's kind of driving me a little bit crazy. So I apologize for the sniffles today in advance. I'm going to try my best to we're probably going to have a shorter show today for that reason, because I don't want my nose running on live internet. So we got a good one today, though. We're going to spend a little bit of time this morning talking about a few things, and then we're going to jump over to the second part of the show to talk about our new challenge. Silverstone. I have 8.98 Bitcoin. Well, one, you should never tell anybody how much Bitcoin you have ever, especially on the internet. Second of all, make damn sure that you have a good process for that Bitcoin. Multi-signature, multi-jurisdictional. If you got 8 Bitcoin, you got to protect that stuff with your life. I mean, if you have any amount of Bitcoin right now, I'm trying to come up with some sort of threshold. We are going to be, I was talking to Craig this morning, actually. We're pretty close to launching our multi-jurisdictional solution for Bitcoin holding for your keys, for your inheritance. It's pretty exciting. But anyways, I'm trying to come up with like a threshold in terms of what sort of Bitcoin, not fiat price, but what kind of Bitcoin amount would justify what kind of a setup. In other words, like if you got 2 million sats, you're probably fine on a Trezor. If you got 50 million sats, you should definitely look into a cold card. If you got between 50, you know what I mean? Like, I think that even though it's not set in stone, I think that it would be very beneficial for people to have something at least that they can look where they're at versus kind of what they should have. And if they're not at that, maybe one up or down from there in terms of your security. But new Trezor 5. I mean, if you got eight Bitcoin on a Trezor that's plugged into your laptop, that should be the top of your priority list. Cancel everything you have to do today and get that into a safe place. Trezor's good, but not for more than 50 million sats, half a Bitcoin. I would never put more than that on a Trezor. Silverstone, my favorite name on here, says, what is your contact? Anything you ever want to know about me, my NPub, my website, my email, Arnie's, Wald of Satoshi, all in the contact info below in the notes. Oh, look at this. We had a bit of a fee spike here. Can you please elaborate in terms of the Trezor? Yeah, I think the Trezor's fine. I have a Trezor myself. I just think that you always want to get rid of your single point of failure. That's number one. So a Trezor itself is a single point of failure. Even a cold card. If you got a cold card, that's a single point of failure. Because if somebody breaks in your house and takes your seed plate, it's gone. If your house burns down and you have everything on paper and your devices in there, it's gone. That's your single point of failure. So with the cold card, you can actually, on top of that, you can set up a passphrase, which you set up a decoy wallet there. That adds another layer of security. But then from there, you actually go into your multi-signature. So if somebody were to break in your house, if your house were to burn down, you don't have a single point of failure there. You have two other options to restore that Bitcoin. And that's aside from like the vulnerability in terms of plugging into a laptop for the Trezor. So I'm not a technical guy. I'm not an IT guy. I don't know the ins and outs of what a laptop can and can't produce in terms of plugging a device into it, but I do not want to take that risk. So with the cold card, you don't have to worry about that. It's all air gapped. So you actually never plug it in through the USB port and it's never connected to the internet. So single point of failure is the first part of that, but the second part is plugging it into a laptop that you've probably done some not nefarious things with, but every site tracks you and you never know who's watching that. Your keystrokes, your screen, the actual USB connection itself. There's just way too much at stake to be using something like a Trezor for anything more than like half a Bitcoin, I would say. Dr. Gonzo. Morning, folks. Saw the title, liquidated everything. Well, hopefully not yet, but save it for in a little while here. So that's what I would say on that, Silverstone. Hopefully that makes sense. And to take it one step further, what we're going to have is we're going to have a solution for multi-jurisdictional. So we're going to have, in other words, your government can't come after you. They'd have to go to another country to get the key to the Bitcoin. You just want to make it as hard as possible without overcomplicating it. So that's what we're going to be offering. It's not going to be a real easy process, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's pretty simple for the most part, but it shouldn't be easy. When you're dealing with the greatest asset that's ever existed in any sort of amount, you have to be serious with it. Okay, let me share this mempool here. I might have to throw in a video and go blow my nose here right away. I can tell. All right, well, 10 sats per rebyte, the latest block. Currently a block height 859,694. And as mentioned, 10 sats per rebyte this morning. So I actually moved a bit of Bitcoin yesterday and it cost me 2 sats per rebyte into that. So not much else to report. I did see that the hash rate, we hit an all-time high with the hash rate. But let me open up this video because I got to go blow my nose. I almost didn't do the show today, but I was kind of feeling a little bit better. But I should have brought some Kleenex here beside the. Okay, so this is Senator Cynthia Lummis. This is a quote or a short video from her yesterday. I'm going to put it up here on the screen, and then we're going to talk about it. But in the meantime, I'm going to go blow my nose.
What if during this century, we go back on a standard, but it's a Bitcoin standard? And so we have, yes, we still have our gold, but we now have, in addition to that, another hard asset, a digital gold, Bitcoin, that is growing in value and can underpin the US dollar. And wouldn't it be fun if the next arms race was not for weapons, it was for Bitcoin? Wouldn't it be fun if the US is buying Bitcoin and it scares China and Russia so they start buying Bitcoin, and we have an arms race over Bitcoin instead of over weapons? That we're as globally, we're challenging each other to have a secure store of value. What if during this century?
Okay, we're back. We're back. The nose has been blown. And we had Arnie here for a sec, but he's gone. So Cynthia Loomis, I don't know what it is, says, wouldn't it be fun if the next arm race was not for weapons, it was for Bitcoin? So she is clearly a subscriber to the software thesis by Jason Lowery, member of Space Force, which was created by who? Who created Space Force? I forget. Oh, yeah, never mind. Kind of seems like this has been planned for a little while. But anyways, the point of that is she said that at the end there, what'd she say? Countries were challenging each other to have a secure store of value. I think the countries are also going to be challenging each other in terms of finding the cheapest source of energy. I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that countries are also going to be obviously buying Bitcoin with any reserves that they have available. But I also think that once they catch on to, once the US starts buying Bitcoin, once Russia starts buying Bitcoin or announce that they've been buying Bitcoin, there's going to be an arms race for energy in terms of countries, not only just, like I said, not only just buying Bitcoin, but investing in infrastructure in Bitcoin mining sites to get their hash power up, because that's going to be the most sustainable option. So what that looks like, and Trump himself has already met with, I think it was Riot Mining and Clean Spark. So I think that you're kind of fooling yourself if you don't really if you don't believe that that's already happening, and it will continue to happen, because as the dollar, every country's dollar, continues to go down in value, and as more and more people catch on to the Ponzi scheme that's happening, they're going to be forced to adapt. And what they're going to adapt with is Bitcoin. There's no other option for them. So she's absolutely right there. And I haven't read software, but I kind of understand the thesis. I appreciate RJ. I don't know if he's in the chat or not. He might be on holidays, but he shares quotes from Lowery all the time. And it seems like we've kind of gotten to the point where if countries wanted to just wipe each other out, they could. Not with any, it would be drones. And I think that instead of doing that, what would be the point of just destroying each other? That wouldn't be very beneficial to anybody. So instead of trying to do that, I think that they're going to be fighting for hash power, for energy. And they're going to be setting up different mining sites and finally able to capture some of that energy that we've never had access to before, because it costs so much money and investment and infrastructure to set up a Bitcoin miner or to set up an energy site. I think even here in Manitoba, the amount of hydro energy we have up north that's just completely unused, or Yeah, unused. It's unused because think about the process there. If you want to capture energy with our current system, you have to set up the infrastructure to capture that energy, and you have to sell that energy. So not only do you have to sell it, but you have to transfer it to whoever's buying it, right? It's a very hard thing to do, and that's why we haven't been able to capture all the energy around the world in the stranded areas of the world. Whoa. My BitAxe just powered down or disconnected. Okay, I think we're back. But compare that to, and the flip side, you just throw up a Bitcoin miner there. You don't need a whole community around it. You just have the miner, you have the energy source, which powers the miner, and that converts it directly into money. Instead of having to find a buyer, instead of having to sell that energy to someone else and have it travel across power lines or however they do it now, power lines. But think of the flip side of that. You can just convert that directly into money. We've never had the ability to do that before. So the smart countries will start doing that and investing in that, and the other ones will fall behind. I see Mabs over in the chat. Zapped 1,000 sats. Letha zapped 420 sats. Thank you, Letha. Thank you, Mav21. And good morning to Craig. We were just talking about you, Craig. You missed it. But Mav21, I don't know if he's still here or not, but we've been talking. I might go down to the States for a couple of days and play some golf with Mav and a few other boys in close to Tennessee. So I've always wanted to go check things out in Nashville. There's a couple of things I want to check out in Nashville, but especially Bitcoin Park. Market anarchy. I'm a fan of the Blockstream Jade. Small, cheap, gets the job done. Bitcoin only. Yeah, that's the other part of Trezor too that I don't love, is the fact that they have all the altcoins on there, which is good. I mean, if you're somebody who buys altcoins, wouldn't advise it. But if you're looking for a place to store it, then you don't have to throw out your Trezor. You can just store them all on there. But make sure that you protect your main asset there, the Bitcoin. Trezor is contracted with Wasabi Chain Analysis. Your balance is known. That's another part of it too. Silver Fox, good morning. Scarpelli, missed yesterday's episode. Hope all is well. All is great, other than a little bit of a runny nose and stuffiness. Allergy season here. And as Dadio says, this is the time to be thinking about it at 60K. If you think the thievery is bad at 60K, wait until 200K. And, as that price goes up and as Bitcoin becomes more valuable in fiat terms and to the rest of the world, the people who know you have Bitcoin, you kind of have a target on your back. And if you have something that's a single point of failure, like a Trezor or even like a cold card by itself, you're in a very vulnerable position. So it's definitely something that you need to be thinking about. Market Anarchy says, I like keeping a small amount of Bitcoin in my safe to protect against wrench attacks. How do you mean? Like just a Trezor or something inside the safe? And as Rick says here, more like smashing, please. I agree. More like smashing and less runny noses. Silverstone, I've heard having a 12-word Trezor is fine, although you don't think it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it's fine, but you don't really want fine when you're dealing with Bitcoin. You want the best you can have, especially with a significant amount, right? Okay. So I got some Kleenex here. I might have to blow my nose. I'll put myself on mute and go off the screen so we don't have to see that. Nobody wants to see that. But Yeah, let's do that. Give me 1 sec. The show must go on, folks. As our buddy Rock and Roll says, the show must go on. I thought I saw Rock and Roll. Yeah, I did. Good morning, all wonderful Bitcoiners. Runny nose and all, we're getting through this one. Letha says, do you know when the BitX Supra will be back in stock? I thought it was. Let me look here quickly. Last time I talked to Matt, he said that he had a ton of them coming. So unless they sold out of all those already, which would be very, very impressive. But I'm pretty sure they're back in stock now. I talked to somebody the other day who bought one of those ones. So that's 204, I think. That's a better one. Yeah, I see it in stock. It says add to cart for me. Or sorry, that's the 401. Both of them are in stock, the Ultra and the Supra, 401 and 204. Oh no, sorry, Letha. I'm lying to you here. Mine says it's out of stock as well. What the heck? I'll have to text Matt because I just talked to him last week and he said that he got all them in. Huh. Okay, well, I didn't mean to lie to you there. It said add to cart, so I figured that they were back in stock. Okay. Well, let's get to let's do our Bitcoin giveaway here for the day. And then we're going to talk about what? Yeah, we'll save that video. I had a funny video to watch, but we'll save it. We don't really have time today. And okay, where are we here? All right, so get your phones out, get yourself ready, get your thumb ready, do a nice stretch, and get ready to go. Here's the Bitcoin well toss for the day. We're definitely due for one here. Oh, bless you, Bridge. She's sneezing up there too. Okay, ready? We set? Here we go. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. 2,100 sats to some lucky person today. I knew we were due for one. I knew it. Okay. I should have had mine. I should have had my phone up ready to go here under the table. Somebody got it already. Somebody got the Bitcoin. 2,100 sats. It's a big win today. 21,000 would be better. 1 million would be better, but 2,100, that's like winning 4 days in a row of our 500 sats. So that was courtesy of Bitcoin Well. I had another couple people sign up yesterday, which is good. It seems like people are kind of understanding the fact that we need a couple of different exchanges in your toolbox. So if you're in Canada, if you're in the US, make sure to grab yourself a Bitcoin Well account. Go to bitcoinwell.com/Jor. Very easy. /Jor, Jor. And with that, you get 5 free tosses into the wishing well, which equates to free Bitcoin. So they got a 1% spread, very simple 1% spread. They got the 5 free tosses if you use that link. And Canada and the US only for now, I think. But they also have some ATMs. They got some really cool stuff on the site. Very interactive from people I've talked to. They've been really enjoying Bitcoin Well. Plus, they don't hold anything. So you send it directly from the exchange into your cold storage. You don't have to worry about getting rugged from Bitcoin Well. I think that's good practice because there's a lot of people I think out there who have bought Bitcoin They leave it on exchange. I have a good friend who has a significant amount of Bitcoin on his ShakePay account. I've told him probably 10 times, get it off ShakePay, maybe more than 10 times. But I was just with him a couple weeks ago and it's still on the ShakePay. So sometimes some people, I see Daniel has zapped 1,000 sats as well. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that, my friend. And Letha says on your link, it says out of stock. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. They are out of stock. I'll text Matt though today and hopefully have some info for you. Okay, well, let's, what I'm going to do here is we're going to be wrapping things up here in a couple minutes. I'm going to get through a few more comments here. Thiago, morning, buddy. AD, good to see you. Scarpelli says duress wallets are great. Trick pins are great as well. Yeah, there's so many different things you can do with the cold card in terms of like trick pins and stuff like that. The first step though is just getting a cold card. Start with that, figure out how to use it. That's going to protect, that's going to be your first step to much better security there. And then from there, you look at trick pins, you look at decoy wallets, you look at multi-signature, everything from there. But the last thing you also want to do is complicate things. So find your level of comfort and go with that. Muslim Bitcoiner says, for those scared of multi-signature, just memorize your worst words and 6 words on one plate. Keep the other 6 words in another jurisdiction, or 444. Yeah, that's another solid idea. Okay, so I think he meant your 12 words and 6 words on one plate. Yeah, he's just saying basically spread it out. So have 6 words here. I think that that's a valid comment. I still think that the actual multi-signature is the best route. But the problem with that is you actually have to have other people that you trust. Because if you have a multi-signature and all the multis are in one location, it defeats the purpose of it. Oh, Timber Crusher says, funny, when your BitAxe went down, I checked my miners remotely on Publical and mine had went down as well. Interesting. Yeah, it just powered off. It's going again now, but it just like reset on itself. Whenever it resets, you can hear it spinning pretty loudly. So Duncan says, I'm not bothering with this. I'm guessing he means the Bitcoin giveaway. Try a different wallet. Try Wallet of Satoshi. I think that's the fastest one to do it. I've tried some other wallets with it, and it takes a little bit longer. And Scarpelli says, I've been getting random 1-sat payments to my Node wallet at random times. Weird. Yeah, I've been getting the same. I think it's Bitcoin advertising. And actually, if you're on NOSTR, believe it or not, you can get Zapvertising now. So there's days where I'll get like 21 sats, 10 sats, 100 sats. And it'll say a little message with it. So I think I got one from Blockstream last week, 21 sats, and then it says a little advertisement there, which I think is genius. You can send me as many sats as you want if you're advertising to me. I don't care. That's much better than like spamming the email or something like that. Chico in the van, good morning from the woods. Good morning from these woods as well. All right, so what we're going to do here today is I'm going to share some results. So for those who are in our Living in the Future community, we did a 100-day challenge, and the challenge was to earn 100 sats for 100 days. And that concluded on August 29th, I believe. Yes, August 29th was the last day. We had several people complete the mission. Very impressive. Very impressive. I did not. I lost my streak when I went over to Europe for a couple weeks. Lost my streak and I never got back. I mean, I've been earning sats, but I haven't been keeping track of it. So I hurt the team here for sure. But I calculated it this morning. And for the 100 days, the team fell just short of 1 million sats. So the total was 966,458 sats were earned. So these were what were the resources here? We had NOSTR, we had Wiser, we had ZBD, we had Stacker News, we had Hey Apollo, we had Lolly, we had FoldApp, Fountain, ShakePay, and Cointoply, and Smiles Bitcoin. So and Solitaire. So those were the ways that people were earning sats. We got 966,000 sats. Very impressive. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody who got through that challenge. And kind of cool. And you also, the nice thing about this is if you are interested in kind of doing it on your own, the fun thing about this is you can actually see, I spread mine out between each one. So I had Fountain, Nostr, Club Bitcoin, ShakePay, Zapstream, ZBD, and you can see which ones are earning you the most Bitcoin. And just like a business where you want to look at which products and service lines are most profitable, you can actually look at which ones are making you the most sats and focus on those ones. Like for me, Solitaire was a complete waste of time, so I stopped doing it. Fountain, I mean, is a no-brainer. You got Nostr, that's kind of the value that you put into it. But ZBD, you got surveys and stuff on there. But so that was the challenge. It has wrapped up, and I just want to give a shout out to everybody who finished it. And one of those people who finished is going to win 100,000 sats from me. But that's only one part of it here, because today's show was titled Sell All of Your Stuff. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to take these next 4 months, September, October, November, 3 months. We're going to skip December, too much going on there. But what we're going to do is we're going to do another challenge. And we're going to try to see who can sell the most stuff around their house for cash and for Bitcoin. We're going to track it. And I'm going to do this one a little bit differently because I want more people to have some skin in the game. So what we're going to do is we're all going to contribute an amount. It might be 10,000 sats. Anybody who wants to compete in this challenge, we're going to put in 10,000 sats each. The person who sells the most stuff, fiat and Bitcoin, is going to get the pot. So a nice bonus, some incentive there to sell some stuff. And not only is it going to be to declutter your house, declutter your mind, I think that we're kind of heading into a point now where prices, in my mind, and I could be wrong about this, but prices of things in my mind are reaching the peak. And I think that prices are going to start falling again because people are running into financial difficulties here, especially in Canada. But they're not going to have money to just be buying stupid shit anymore. I'm surprised that they still do. So I think that the prices of a lot of things have actually peaked. And so I think that this is the perfect time to be selling it, cashing out at the top, and putting that money into Bitcoin, because on the flip side, we're heading into a very sharp upward trend within Bitcoin. So the idea here is going to be sell your stuff, clear out your house, clear out your mind, buy Bitcoin with that, and we're going to track it all, hold each other accountable. There's going to be some skin in the game, and the winner, whoever sells the most stuff between today and November 30th is going to win the pot. So if you're interested in that, consider joining, because it's going to be only for Living in the Future community. So I'm going to jump over there right now. We're going to talk about it in a little bit further details. I'm going to give some tips and stuff on how to sell more stuff, which resources to use, a little bit more about the content or the challenge itself. And so if you're interested, the one thing you could do is join the Living in the Future. You can sign up as a 7-day free trial. Join today, watch the rest of the video. If you want to be part of it, if you want to be part of the community and the challenge, then continue on. If you listen to it, if you decide that it sounds kind of bogus or you're not interested in it, then just cancel it. There's absolutely no risk involved there. So that's what we're going to do. Is I'm going to hop off the YouTube today. We're going to keep this one nice and short. And we're going to talk about that on the second part. So best way to join is just go to, in the show notes here, second thing down, it says Living in the Future. join that. And then from there, you can actually just watch the rest of the video today and be part of the challenge, be part of the community, and grow your network. Build kind of the three things to do with living the future. Become better Bitcoiners, building businesses within Bitcoin and earning sats, and growing your Bitcoin network. That's kind of the three main focuses around living the future. So if you're interested, if that's something that sounds good to you, we're going to have a whole bunch more coming in the next couple of months, especially on the business end of things. But consider joining, consider becoming part of this challenge. I think that by having some skin in the game, it's easy just to say, I'm going to start selling some stuff around the house and see what happens, but nobody ever gets to it. So with this challenge, with some skin in the game, with some accountability, you can sell a bunch of stuff, get a bunch of new Bitcoin, more sats, and clear some space in that brain of yours, in your mind. Silver Fox says, I've sold everything already. And Daniel just says, I sold a bunch of stuff on Saturday. $317 US. Smashed it right into Bitcoin. Yes, it's exactly what we want to do. So like I said, we're going to hop over here. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. I'm going to give some tips, some resources, some ideas in terms of how to do it most efficiently, how to track it. And then we're going to start the challenge today. So if you're in, join us. Show notes, living in the future, vision, living in the future tier. I think it's limited to 88 people, but you can find it there easily. So have yourselves a great day. And one other thing on that is we actually do a private Q&A. I stopped doing the Q&A every Friday. We do it every Wednesday now on the Living in the Future channel. So lots of stuff included in that. I think it's an absolute no-brainer for people, but it's up to you. So thanks for being here. Thanks for the chat today. And consider joining us. Consider joining the challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you there.